The instruction was walk. Walk to people. It's good, you can start rehearsing it now. You're welcome to church. It's good to see you. Um, how was your week? Stressful. I heard stressful. Well, you are not alone. We have entered into the hot seasons in Jos. But I can assure you that Jos is not hot. There are places you will go and you will know that there's no heat here. What we have is a rumor. Job chapter 33 and verse 14. Job 33 verse 14. Last week we began to look at the ways that the Spirit of God leads us visually. We did say that there are different ways that the Spirit of God leads, and we classified them. We said He can guide, and those are the non-verbal ways that He leads. And then we said that He can speak, and then we said He can show, right? So we have the non-verbal ways, and then we have the verbal ways, and then we have the visual ways. And the visual ways are what a lot of people usually take as the leading of the Spirit or the speaking of the Spirit, because a lot of times they are more spectacular than the other means. And we've looked at the non-verbal ways, we've looked at the verbal ways, and we began to look at the visual ways last week. And I did say to you that they are classified into two: dreams and visions. And we began to look at dreams. And that was where we left off. So we'll just take it from there. Job chapter 33 and verse 14. Verse 14. We'll read down to verse 17. It says, "For God speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed. Then he opened the ears of men and sealed their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man." And what Job is saying here is that there is a way that God can come to a man to ensure that that man is kept from the way that he would ordinarily want to go. And sometimes God comes in the night. Now, can I have this? Is there another translation? Is there an easier translation? All right. I just want to make a point from here before we move off from this verse, and I think it will be easier in some easier translation. All right. So go to verse 14 again. "For God speaks time and again, but a person may not notice it." Now look at what he's saying. That it's possible for God to be seen to someone and the person doesn't notice it. The person doesn't pay attention. The person doesn't even hear for whatever reason. The person does not notice. And then verse 15 says, "In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they slumber on their beds, he uncovers their ears at that time and terrifies them with warnings, in order to turn a person from his actions and suppress his pride." That it is possible that God is speaking to you, and for some reason you cannot hear, or you cannot pick it, you cannot discern it, and then God will say, okay, would increase the measure. So what God will do is that he will come in the night, and he will give you the kind of dream that you cannot ignore. And the purpose of that dream is to ensure that you are turned away from the actions that you wanted to commit and to suppress your pride. You get the point? That's what is being said here. And I'm making the point to say to you that, you see, because you might even notice, some of you might have noticed that maybe when you first got born again, you were having a lot of dreams, right? You used to have a lot of dreams, and that was maybe the primary way that God was leading you at the time. But you noticed that as you progressed in your walk with God, the dreams began to reduce. Do I have a witness? You now notice that you don't have so many dreams again. In fact, now you basically just have a knowing in your heart and all of those other non-verbal stuff that we spoke about. But then you will notice that there are times when God is talking about something to you, and maybe you are not paying attention, or you don't want to hear, or you've already decided on what you want to do. Right? For example, John and Jane, they like themselves. John likes Jane. Jane likes John.